Welcome to the Young CEOs Mastermind Call. We have these every single Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm your host. My name is Andre Kennedy, aka Free Play Dre. Back at you guys once again with another YouTube video. So, as we continue to go throughout this credit process, I like to give you guys tips, tricks, and strategies to help you get to the next level. So, today's video is simply going to be about our process and procedures on how we're going to get you upwards of $100,000 worth of credit capital. Now, for those of you that don't know, my name is Andre Kennedy, and I have successfully acquired over $150,000 worth of credit capital. Now, this capital is utilized for fix and flip rental properties, for vending machines, for rental car business that I operate and own. I have a food trailer. Okay, so I've acquired funding to be able to purchase assets that are going to generate me money, if not already are generating me income. So if you're looking to start a business, if you're looking to start, an investment opportunity, if you're looking to get funding for whatever the case may be, okay, I know each and every one of us have some sort of gift or some sort of talent or some sort of business idea that if we were to have the funds to be able to get this up and going and operating, whether it be a barbershop, a laundromat, any of them, okay, there's so many businesses out there that you may be able to acquire the skill, if you don't have it already, to be able to open up a business and generate some cash flow. And the only thing that's standing in between you and that vision and that goal is funding, okay, the proper funding. So the banks will literally give you the proper funding to start your business, okay? Now, they're going to give you funding, but it's up to you to utilize that funding to start your business, okay? Because a lot of people could use it and abuse it and purchase things that won't generate them any money, okay? But that won't be you, that won't be the viewers that are watching this video. The viewers that are watching this video are going to utilize the funds to be able to start businesses and income streams that are going to generate them cash flow, okay? And what's going to happen is you're simply going to pay back the banks that lent you the money in the first place, and you're going to keep your cash flowing business because the debt will be serviced from the income that your business is making. Okay, and after you service that debt, now you open up even more income because you no longer have to pay a debt from the borrowed money, but now everything is excess and profit. Okay, minus obviously your business expenses and operations. Okay, and as long as you do your math correctly and you're bringing in more than you are spending, your expenditures, then you're going to be profitable, okay? And you just basically created a business out of thin air, utilizing your credit, utilizing the bank's money, and starting a business, okay? So this is how wealthy people are created. This is how millionaires are created. But it takes a lot of discipline, okay? It takes a whole lot of discipline because you can't simply just have that much funding and not know what to do with it. Okay, especially because a lot of this funding that we are acquiring is 0% interest, but is 0% interest for a limited amount of time. Okay, typically 12 months on average. So the 0% interest funding that we are getting you guys that are signing up with our credit community and that are following me on my socials and receiving the proper information on how to structure a credit profile and how to get leverage, which is the bank's money, to start businesses, they're going to use this money to get 0% interest funding, and they're going to have a business plan already in place, okay? So, like I said at the beginning of this video, I kind of want to give you guys a rundown on the procedure of once you sign up, what happens, okay? Because a lot of you guys might be having that question. Okay, so what I'm going to explain today is how our process and procedure works. Now, number one, first and foremost, we have to have a conference call to where we can understand exactly what is on your credit profile. Okay, so I myself or one of my team members will have a scheduled call, Zoom call with you, and we'll go over your credit profile and see if there are any errors and inaccuracies on your credit profile. Okay, that's the first thing that we need to do because we need to make sure that your profile is prepped and ready to be able to receive money from the banks. Okay. And the way that we do that is we utilize two apps. We utilize Credit Karma and Experian. And sometimes, whatever the specific account is, sometimes it might not show on one of the bureaus, and we might need to get a detailed report. So for that, we usually go to myannualcreditreport.com. Okay. And we'll get a copy of your credit report. You can email it to us, or we can go in our live Zoom session and we can check it out and see what are the items that are negatively affecting your profile. Okay. Now, once we determine what the negative items that are affecting your profile are, we're going to basically formulate a method on how to get rid of those negative items. Okay. And when it comes to removing items off of your credit profile, I've been able to remove thousands and thousands of dollars of debt from people's credit profile. Okay. Simply because it might have just been an error on the creditors, and we can simply get that removed. Okay. What goes into the disputing process is this. The creditors, okay, the banks that you may or may not have a debt with, have a duty and a responsibility to report accurate and only accurate information, also verifiable information. Okay. So if that account is not verifiable, then how do we know the debt is even yours? Okay. So we, as a credit repair company, are simply in the business of making sure that the creditors or the collection company or whoever has and owns the debt as of now are going to report that account properly. And if not, if it is reported inaccurately, or if they do not have validation for the debt, then that account needs to be unassigned and deleted from your credit profile. Okay? So it's up to the creditors to make sure that they're doing the proper procedures to actually hold that debt and hold you accountable. If they are not, then they need to delete it because it is unlawful according to the Fair Credit Reporting Act. Okay? So if you don't know what the Fair Credit Reporting Act, it's basically a list of laws that protect the consumer, okay? The consumer, which is you, the person that maybe signed up for the debt or didn't sign up for the debt, depending. And their duty is to uphold this FCRA, okay? Fair Credit Reporting Act, okay? Because consumers, we have the consumer law, which is in our defense. And if these creditors or collection companies are not abiding by the specific rules, then those accounts need to be removed. I myself, like I said, have been able to remove a lot of debt from people's credit profiles based on the FCRA and based on the rules and regulations. Okay? So I help people remove debt from their credit profile. That is pretty much the second step. Okay? And the method that we utilize to do this is through my credit repair software. Okay? I have my own personal pre-built credit repair software that on our Zoom call, I will go over this information with you and I will help you to dispute your negative items. Okay? So you will not only get those negative items removed, but you will be prepping your credit profile and being able to now add positive accounts to your credit profile, because credit repair does not stop after you've wiped your credit clean. A lot of times, in fact, your credit can drop from receiving credit repair. Okay, and why do I say that? Because credit has 5 different factors. Credit has your overall payment history, which is 35% of your credit score. 30% of your credit score is your credit utilization. 15% of your credit score is the average credit age. Okay. Now, real specifically, I want to talk about that topic, which is your average credit age. And the reason why I want to talk about this topic is because your average credit age is determined by the accounts that are on your profile. And like I mentioned, if we remove a negative account that had a significant amount of age that was added to your credit history, and we remove that profile, well, you lose a lot of age. So you can see your credit score drop even more, but it will recover, okay? Especially after we add new accounts and those accounts begin to age, okay? So you'll restore your credit age with positive accounts instead of having old negative accounts on your credit profile that, yes, are impacting your credit age, but they're also impacting your highest categories, which is your payment history and your credit utilization typically. Okay? So, to get back to the 5 factors, the last 2 are your inquiries and the types of credit that you have. So it's good to have a good solid mixture of credit on your profile. That means auto loans, credit cards, student loans if you have them, but pay them, okay? And various other different types of loans, installment loans or revolving lines of credit. Now, that's pretty much adding new lines of, we're going to add new lines of credit to your profile. That's kind of like step number 3, okay? Now, there's a sequence to effectively getting high limits in credit cards, okay? A lot of people, they fail to realize that structuring a credit profile consists of a sequence, okay? You're not going to get approved right away for high limit funding, okay? It's like a snowball effect, okay? You start off slow with small credit builders and things of that sort, and then you gradually build your way up with credit limit increases and with positive payment history, etc. And then you apply for banks that offer high limit funding, and those banks will fund you and give you access to high limits, such as $10,000, $20,000 credit cards or loans. Okay? And that's kind of how the process works. But I specifically built a course to teach you guys and give you guys a step by step formula, a walkthrough, so to speak, of what you need to do on day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, etc., until you reach $100,000 worth of credit funding. And I will simply hold your hand along the way. Okay, I have a packed schedule, well, an open schedule, but packed with Zoom calls throughout my week. And I'm constantly contacting my students to be able to catch up with them and see where they're at on their credit profile, see what the next steps are to move them forward along the step-by-step credit process. Okay, so I am an active coach, and I help people along their journey of acquiring good credit and high limit funding. Okay, now during this procedure and process, we also offer what is called a authorized user trade line. Okay, and I want to give you guys a little bit of information on what an authorized user trade line is. An authorized user trade line is simply somebody allowing you to become a additive on their credit cards, okay? An added person on their credit cards. So, for instance, if I have a $20,000 credit card with 100,000 or with 100% positive payment history, low utilization, and I've just been keeping this for years and years, guess what? As an authorized user, you can receive the inheritance, or basically in simpler terms, that credit card can actually report on your credit profile, okay? It just takes me making a simple phone call and having your personal information so that I can add you as an authorized user. So, as somebody with $150,000 worth of credit capital plus, and maybe 30 to 40 credit cards, I can add, a lot of you guys, considering each credit card can potentially hold about 5 authorized users on it, I can add a lot of you guys to credit cards that can increase your credit profile. Okay. So that's where the authorized users come into place. But an authorized user is only beneficial for these reasons. Okay. So make sure you listen up before you even get an authorized user. An authorized user, yes, will increase your credit score by adding, credit limit. If I have a $20,000 credit limit, that credit limit will report on your credit profile. It'll increase your utilization amount. It will increase your positive payment history averages. It will increase your credit age averages, especially if that $20,000 credit card is 5 to 10 years old. It's going to add a lot of history on your credit profile. Okay, so this is drastically going to increase your score. So you have to understand that an authorized user is very beneficial to your profile, but it doesn't necessarily affect you as much when it comes to actually getting funding. Okay, now when it comes to actually getting funding, this is how an authorized user will benefit you. So the banks will see that on your credit profile, you have an authorized user account. They will see that this has increased your score. They will see, potentially, if you follow throughout our steps, credit trade lines, which are primaries, okay, we call those primaries that you've acquired on your own, on your credit profile as well. But you simply have an authorized user to help boost you up a little bit, okay? So what this can help do is having a $20,000 authorized user on your credit profile. Meanwhile, you only have maybe 2 or 3 primary credit cards that are only $200 or $300 limits, or charge cards or other cards on your credit profile, credit builder, so to speak. An authorized user is going to help you by, when that bank pulls your credit to give you an actual credit limit, they're going to see a $20,000 utilization. Okay? So that's basically telling them that this person has been able to manage $20,000 plus worth of credit capital in the past, based on that authorized user being on your account. So what they are more likely to do is to give you close or comparable credit. Okay, we call that comparable credit. So when you go to apply for a credit card, they typically are able to see your credit profile, and they're able to see what limits you have already. Okay, and if you have $1,000 or $5,000 limit, they're likely to either match or beat out the credit limits that you currently have. So if you have a $20,000 credit limit, they're likely to either match or beat out that credit limit on your credit profile. This is a major hack for those that have very low credit limits, especially in the beginning. Okay, because a $20,000 credit card is going to allow you to speed up the process, as to where prior you would have to get credit limit increases consecutively, which you can only do every 6 months typically, and that's going to take a very long time for you to build up. But having an authorized user trade line on your credit profile is going to speed up that process significantly, because now you automatically have a $20,000 trade line on your profile, and the banks are able to see that, and they're able to offer you more and higher amounts of funding. Okay? So that's why it's important in your credit journey to get an authorized user, combined with some of your primary trade line. Okay? Now, you can always get rid of the authorized user once you start getting your own high limit primaries. Okay? Because once that bank gives you and matches that $20,000 authorized user and gives you your own primary $20,000 primary account, now you're able to get rid of the authorized user because now you have your own. Okay? Now there is the option to do that, but it's also good to keep that history as well. So if you want to maintain the authorized user and keep it on your account because it's increasing your credit history, that will also benefit you as well. So that's a little information about authorized users. That is something that we offer along your credit journey as you continue to build with us. Okay. So, authorized users can be removed. Just to reinstate that, authorized users can be removed from your credit profile, and it can drop you back to where you originally were if you decide to remove that authorized user. Or if, in our case, if you decide to not pay for the authorized user, then we will remove it from your credit profile and it can potentially drop your score. But it'll only drop it back to what it originally was. Okay, so prior, if you didn't have the authorized user, that's what your score would go back to. Okay, so that's kind of the backstory on the beginning procedures. Once you start getting access to funding, I kind of give you guys a strategy because there is a lot of banks out there that have different banking rules. Okay, and me as a credit coach and have experience in this field, I've been able to experience a lot of different credit cards. Like I said, I have 20, maybe 30, maybe even 40 credit cards as of now. I have yet to count them all. But I have a lot of credit cards, and I just got approved for two more, one for $7,500 and the other one for $10,000. And that's a total of $17,500 within about a 2 week span. It took me to get those two cards. Okay. So this is a lot. This is kind of just touching the surface of what you can do when you have good credit. You can get access to high limit funding, and you can utilize that funding to make purchases that can benefit either your real estate portfolio, your rental car portfolio, and other investment streams that you might endeavor into. So I have a lot of income streams myself. I teach you guys exactly what I do, real estate, vending machines, rental cars. So if you're interested in those businesses, you're definitely going to want to get the course and receive those mentorship one-on-one calls. And I'll teach you exactly what you need to learn in order to get involved with those businesses. Those are my bread and butters. I like real estate, has tax benefits. When you have good credit, there's a lot of upside. You can get loans, you can refinance on properties, you can pull equity out of the properties, and you can go and do pretty much the BRRRR strategy. With rental cars, constant income, each car brings in an average of about $1,000 per car. I have about 8 cars. Now, I say average because in the wintertime, the numbers may drop. Not a lot of people are driving, not a lot of people are traveling. But you can imagine in the summertime, everybody's traveling, everybody's driving. So those numbers definitely vary. But on average, each car brings in roughly about $1,000 per month. So, you know, those are pretty much my bread and butter. I have vending machines placed at different locations. Those will make me money. I also have this credit business that I help people and I structure and I pretty much get them involved with credit so that they can become partners on these business endeavors and they can also become mentors themselves, okay, for my community that we've built. So we have an in-house community. They get access to me 24/7 via our chats that we have. Currently, we're on Telegram, but we're looking at different other opportunities to host our community. So you definitely want to get involved with what we have going on because we have a lot of students that are leveling up, receiving results, getting items removed off of their credit, you know, rebuilding their credit and starting businesses. So this is why we call it the Young CEOs. I'm thankful that I was able to share some of that information with you guys and kind of give you guys the rundown on our procedure, on our process. That's pretty much the whole process in a nutshell. Like I said, there's a lot more in-depth things as far as, details on real estate. I do videos on properties that I've acquired and how I've acquired them, and also, demonstrating the process, the before and after pictures of me renovating these houses and inspections and different other things, taxes, and we talk a lot about all of those different topics. Okay. Really getting down to the nitty gritty of business and how to operate and structure your business. Me being an experienced investor, I like to think of myself as a very experienced investor, and I like to be able to coach people to be able to do the same. I've been able to receive a certain amount of success in my life. I'm not fully there yet, but I believe I can help some of you guys get to the next level. So if you believe in that as well, make sure you guys check out my link, which is dazzlu.com, and I'd be more than welcome to assist you on your credit journey. Now, I do charge a commission, and that is simply affordable, which is only $49.99. Okay, takes $49.99 to start your journey with me, and as long as you are willing and hungry and a motivated individual, there's no reason why you can't triple the amount that that investment will make. Okay. So that's just a little backstory about myself, my procedure, and what I'm able to do for you guys. Now, the only thing I leave you guys with is the opportunity to partner with me and the opportunity to take action. You know, action takers are money makers. So, with that being said, if you're willing to start your credit and start utilizing it to make money, start making a change in your life, go to dazzlu.com and go ahead and get started today. I'll see you guys on the inside. Hopefully, you guys take action. And if you do, I'm looking forward to those calls because I've seen a lot of success stories happen just from the information that I was able to provide people. And now they're getting approved for high limit funding, different credit cards, helping them get out of different situations. And that's what I want to see for you guys as well. So, with that being said, that's all I have to say for today. And hopefully, you guys got some value. I'll see you guys on the next one. And I'm out.